Welcome to the Miss Francois Show, where comedy meets reality, where we talk a little about relationships. Okay, we focus on relationships with a little comedic twist. Today's comedic guest goes by the name of Yoshiko Watson. She is from Ohio. Yep, it sounds like a place where there's a lot of Asians, but okay. She is extremely proud of her roots, especially since she was raised by the descendants of survivors of the Japanese internment. Yeah, I had to Google that, internment, whatever. She started doing comedy after a viral Craigslist ad. That's interesting. Guess what? She has performed regularly in New York clubs, bars, and roast battles. Miss Yoshiko Watson, make us laugh.
Oh my God, thank you. It's good to be here. Miss Francois said I look pretty today, so this is the best day of my life. I don't usually dress up. I feel pretty. I feel confident. I love it. Yeah, I can be shy, when it comes to dating. It's hard to get to know people when they want to know your race before they know your name, huh? Yeah. This guy thought it would be flirty to just ask me is it your mom or dad that's Asian, Next time I should just say, is it your mom or dad that's ugly? I got a chip on my shoulder. Sometimes I feel like Asian women aren't allowed to be as dramatic, Okay, the last guy who dumped me, I feel like it's because he was in love with his childhood friend, He wanted her crazy white babies. I'm sorry, but it's true. That's why I wrote it in period blood on his niece's forehead. So I'm half white. I do white stuff all the time. I got some CBD gummies to help me sleep. They do not help me sleep. They help me arrange all of Taylor Swift's music videos into a narrative arc. Man, how do you relax? I need to know. I'm at the point where I don't know if I'm romantic or I just am underpaid, right? I know that it's fun to make out with someone that's from a place that I can't afford to go, I'm a taste of Boston. I don't need a job or I think what I'm gonna do is just start selling just enough plasma to buy enough protein powder to keep making just enough plasma to just do that, just lie in bed and do that. You can follow my journey on Instagram, #battery mode. I'm at the age where my body just wants to stay in bed. I'm 30 and I know it's true because I put on an icy hot back patch and I said out loud, "Oh yeah, that's the stuff." I'm at the age where I'm feeling pressure to have kids. When people pressure me, I want to say of course I want kids because I like how high maintenance dogs are, but I also like how ungrateful cats are. I did a lot of roast battles and I got too sassy, It's a problem on the dating apps. This guy, I'm proud to be from Cleveland. So this guy said, I see you're from Cleveland. I'm sorry. So I said, I see you're from Arizona. I heard they had the highest rape rate, but I'm sure it's dropped since you left. I was getting jumped. It's important to be likable, on the dating apps and in life. Okay, you know how I know there's an astronaut named Oleg who posts YouTube videos from space that get 17 views. Poor Oleg, right? It's so hard to become an astronaut. I bet Oleg is a nuclear physicist and Olympian, and he's in space right now, just going, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah. I think, I want to be thin. Everyone who's seems to be popular on Instagram is thin. I want to be the third rail in the subway. Thin and the focus of a million New Yorkers' fantasies. Yeah. Have you ever tried positive affirmations? Is there anything more depressing than I don't know, just trying to look at yourself in the mirror, hungover or whatever, and be I am radiant, I think all the wellness trends are nonsense. I Googled how to be happy, and an article said, make a list of things in your life that bring you pleasure. So I wrote down Dwayne Reed trail mix. And now I'm sadder than before. All right. This is my last. I feel like depression can be fun if we just get into it. Yes? Okay. One time my boyfriend said he lifts weights so that he won't murder people. And I was like, I exercise so that I won't kill myself. So if we both stop, the race is on. Oh, you've been so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Watson, for starting the show off just right. With that said, today's guest goes by the name of Ladawn Black. I just like saying that. It sounds so sexy. She's a native of Washington, D.C., a relationship expert. Oh my God, I need her advice. An author, voice artist, and multimedia personality. She is part of 2 radio stations. Hopefully I get that right. Do correct me if I'm wrong. She is on every Sundays at 10 a.m. on WBLS 107.5 FM and WEAA at 88.9 FM in Baltimore every evenings at 7 p.m. Now we have her here on the Miss Francois Show. As I mentioned before, she is an author, right? So let me tell you what some of the things she has written. One of the things are 15 hot tips and tricks to spice up your sex life. I need to buy like 5 of those. She has another book called Tease, Steamy Short Story. Oh, this Ladawn Black is a little freaky, huh? So, Tease, Steamy Short Stories. Today, we are going to discuss one of her books called Stripped Bare. The 12 Truths that will help you land the very best black man. Welcome, Miss Black.
Thank you so much for having me. Absolutely.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask, the book, right? Is that you on the cover?
That is me on the cover. I was being very brave and bold that day.
Yeah,
so yes,
nasty.
I am naked on the cover. Yes, I am.
Because I was zooming in. I was like, excuse me. I was like, she get all naked.
Yes, I did.
Well, you know, it's your book, so you are allowed to put yourself out
I
there.
mean, if you're stripping bare, you might as well
And
strip
you
bare.
look good.
Thank you.
All the triple, double Z's and all that stuff. That was awesome.
Thank you.
So with the book, how come you even came up with the title?
You know what, the thing is, Strip Bare comes sort of out of my experience. I wanted to write a book that says, look, it's not all about the guys and how awful they are. That sometimes we as women have issues that we need to address. So my dating stories are in there, sort of how I came to the point where I was like, look, it's not the guys, it's me. So I share tips on how we can sort of break ourselves down and understand ourselves better in order to pursue positive love.
And one thing I pinpointed is that you said to find the very best black man. So wouldn't this book, you wouldn't think the book is for all women and all men,
It's for
no matter
all
what?
men, and even men have used it to get their ideal woman. So it's a general tip book, but because the market at that time, it was all about black women being lonely and you can't find anyone. That's why the title is
Okay,
there.
because sometimes I like my coffee with lots of milk, so I just wanted to
and
make
it's
sure I could use
okay.
the same.
You can use the same tips.
Okay, this is good to know. So before I would just want to do one main question I wanted to say, because people always say, oh, they give advice, they're this expert, that expert. What would you say qualifies you as an expert in this topic?
Right. Well, my background is that I am not a doctor. So if you have real relationship issues that are really keeping you up at night, that you think you may end things, go see a doctor. I have a long list of those people that you can go talk to.
Okay.
I'm your best girlfriend. So my advice is sort of that, should I break up with him or not? You already know the answer, but I'm that girlfriend who's going to tell you, go ahead and do what you said you were
You're
going to do. But also, I've been married for 21 years. So that's one of my little pet peeves with relationship experts, is that they'll talk love and relationships, but you'll be like, well, wait a minute.
Exactly.
You've never been married, or you've never been in a serious relationship, or we know all your relationship drama. But I've been married for 21 years, so I like to talk about sort of long-term relationships and how to build those as well.
Awesome. So this is what I'm going to do. I am going to take a quick break and get back to talking to Miss Ladawn Black, right? and we're going to find out how she wake up to that same man for 21 years, the same drooling alongside the mouth, his breath smell. 21 years is a long time to wake up next to that person. So we'll be right back with Ladawn Black.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Welcome back to the Miss Francois Show. I was drinking my, I keep forgetting I put nothing in this cup. I just want We're back today with Miss Ladawn. Why do I keep saying that? Miss Ladawn Black. You have heard her lovely voice on WBLS 107.5 on Sundays at 10 a.m. and on the evenings at 7 p.m. at WEAA 88.9 FM. I think I could actually do radio, not too bad. So, I want to get into this nice book, The 12 Truths That Will Help You Land the Very Best Black Man. So, with that, right? I thought I was going to read this book and find out, like, where to go find a man in the laundromat or, in the grocery store.
Well, I can answer that question
right,
for
so
you.
Exactly. So when I opened it, I was like, oh, this ain't finding me where to get a man?
Well, it's not going to tell you the locations to find a man, but it's just the sort of the mindset that you have to be in. But I can give you some hot locations that women don't go to. Number one, you have to leave your house. Because all
this time I've been,
because the truth is, I'll talk to women and I'll say, so, do you speed date? Do you go out? Are you members of organizations? Do your friends know that you're looking for someone? And they go, no. And so they're waiting for him to knock on the door. He's not going to knock on the door.
It might be the UPS guy.
It could be the UPS guy, but how often does he come by?
Okay, good point. I need to order some more stuff from Amazon.
So you have to leave your house. And then, 2, you have to let your network know. A lot of times we don't tell our friends and family that we're looking for someone of quality.
Sure.
So it's not that they're going to hook you up with your next man or your next husband, but you know what? The guy that they do hook you up with has friends. So that's how you get to know other people. And then the final tip that I'll give people as far as going out and meeting people is to do the things that you love to do. So get active in your community events. Get active in, professional organizations, that hobby. Go out and do you, because when you do you, you're going to meet other people who are interested in the same things.
Oh, you're the best wing woman ever.
I try to help.
But you're already on lockdown for 21 years. I know what kind of wing woman you're going to make. But in your book, you had like little narratives, right? What you call bare necessity. Why did you call them that instead of the affirmations?
You know what? Because affirmation, sometimes that word scares people off because sometimes it has a spiritual connotation. So if you're not on that path, you don't want to hear that word. Or you're just like, look, I don't feel like looking in the mirror every morning and boosting myself up. So it's just a thought that's just going to sort of inspire you to just think differently when it comes to relationships.
What happened? You rehearsed these questions because you answering kind of nice and perfect.
I'm glad it's working.
Okay. All right. Let me try to shake up things. Okay. So let's talk some truths. One of the things I love about your book is that you incorporate stories, right? One of my favorite is the herpes stories. Go buy the book if you want to know about the herpes story, which focus on the first truth, which was let go of the past. And my thing is, when you go through a relationship, you're going to come with a purse, a baggage. You're coming with a lot of stuff. So how do people even start trying to let go of the past so they don't bring it in their new relationship?
You have to know what your triggers are. So if you were in a relationship where cheating was an issue, or if you were in a relationship where lies were an issue, maybe someone hit a child or something like that, you have to know that as I deal with this new person and those things pop up, it could just be conversation, it could be a movie, it could be somebody else in the family that's having these issues. You have to really sort of step back and say, is this an issue between the two of us? Or is this really me reacting to something that triggers me from my past? So it's not that you're going to forget. And I think that's where we get confused because we say, well, look, I'm never going to forget. You know, I'm going to always protect myself from what hurt me. No, those things are true and those things are genuine. But you have to know when I'm arguing with you or when I'm annoyed with you or when something is hitting me the wrong way, is it really about you and what you did? Or is it really about how I feel about what this may be leading to? So you have to sort of stop yourself, and that's letting go of the past, is knowing what your triggers are and saying, well, wait a minute, let me take a step back and not act on something until I'm sure it's what that situation is.
So a lot of times, because women are we rush to immediately. So one of the good things, we should just pause and think.
There's nothing wrong with leaving the room just for a second.
Oh, girl, I'm learning a lot. You don't want to hear when I put on a real Trinidad
Oh,
accent.
goodness.
I'm like, where you coming from? So one of your favorite truths was number 3, right? It says, make your relationship top priority. So, and why would you say make your relationship? What about your other relationship? Why am I making that person or my relationship top priority?
Well, it's not that you drop your friends. It's not that your family is now not important or your children aren't important. It's just that that person should always feel like when they walk into the room that they take priority. And that doesn't mean that you leave your friends and run over to him or her. It means that when he comes in the room or she comes in the room, you know, that eye contact, that, oh, well, wait a minute, let me hold your hand while I finish this conversation. It's giving those little small cues that lets a person know that, yes, I have a lot going on in my life right now, but you are very important to me.
Because a lot of times, I'm not saying no names, this has never happened to me. Because people say that, like, oh, we will, you know, you want to, we should be hanging out with thing. If he leaves you, at least you have us. So a lot of people, when you say top priority, that still scares them, like he's supposed to be first. And you know, like my mom is always in my business, my sister always in my business.
Right.
And they're like, oh, so because you have a man now, you forget to call us. So it's hard to, you know?
You have to strike a balance, but also your circle has to understand that when you're trying to grow something of value, so let's make it important, you know, let's be real. This is not someone that you just dated twice. You know, that person doesn't deserve that designation yet.
Right.
But once you're a couple months in and you're like, this is serious and this could actually go somewhere, your circle then has to understand that it's not that mom isn't a priority. It's not that your sisters and your girlfriends aren't anymore. It's just that, well, wait a minute, let me just let him know what I'm going to do later. Let me check in, we're out. Let me check in to see what he's doing or what he wants to eat when I get back home. It's just being nice. It's being courteous and just taking it up to a different level.
You hear that, mommy? I cannot be calling you. When I get a man, now, he's top priority. Because she always complaining, oh, you get a man, you're doing whatever. You made me, that's it. Oh, number 4, one of my favorites. Sex is not a 4-letter word.
Right.
Girl, you play you nasty now.
I told you I like to have fun.
So with that, because it's like people need to know that basically know what you like. So some people might not be into, okay, today I want you to suck my toes. And they're like, I don't. So when he says no to sucking my toes, do I just walk away immediately or find out early? Or?
No, you don't. That whole chapter talks about sex and what is permissible for you and what isn't. And I always go with the sort of the menu concept, or a plate. So I might not like greens. And I might tell you I don't like greens. But that doesn't mean that I can't slide some green beans on that plate. So if I'm going to take something off the plate, because it's not my thing, and we have a right to say, well, you know what, sucking my toes, that doesn't do anything for me. But you know what? Is there anything else you're interested in sucking? Let's talk about that. So you have to take things off the plate.
You're nasty.
Take things off the plate, put things back on.
Okay, coming by you for lunch. So I just choose some of the ones that I like the most, right? One of the ones you say, stop chasing married, incarcerated, living with someone career-obsessed, gay or addicted brothers. But I'm like, some people like, my man he's gonna change. You know what I'm saying? He did his time. So what happened to the person that said my man's gonna change?
You're hopeful, and I wish you the best. Really, the title of the chapter is Stop Chasing Unavailable Men. And that's the difference. You know, a brother can do a bid, come out, change his life, be good for you. Absolutely. But if he's in the midst of his storm, you may not want to be there. If he's unavailable because he has a girlfriend, he has a wife, he has a live-in, Why are we even stepping into that situation?
Because he said, this is what he told
Okay,
me.
okay, let me hear what he told
No,
you.
seriously, and this just happened to me recently. So he said, right, that she lives upstairs and he lives downstairs. I mean, he still has a wedding ring on, but right now they're not doing anything or whatever
Okay.
the case might
I've
be.
been married for 21 years, so let me tell you how this rolls, okay? Okay, let's just say he lives upstairs, she lives downstairs. You're married. At some point, you're going to meet kitchen closet somewhere. Somebody's going to be late. It's going to be hot. You're going to walk through naked. Something's going to happen.
Right.
So I've heard that story from other people. Oh, well, you know, he said it. They're not having sex anymore. If you're married, if there's a ring involved, you're having sex. So there's still some sort of connection there.
I
So
know
I
why
wouldn't
people-
fall for that one. So no unavailable men. If the person
Okay.
is unavailable, let them work their situation out before you throw yourself into
You
it.
lie. Miss Ladawn Black said you lie. So, good. Oh my God, you just have perfect answers.
Well, I tried.
It's awesome. What you been studying? So, my friend, I even had this quick thing, even though they're trying to tell me wrap up. We're going to keep going.
Okay,
I just
let's
one
do that.
thing. Say you have this handsome, wonderful guy. He's great. Everything is perfect, right? But you say something, I call it the thing, you say it's something called a friendship. So how do you know, because like you don't want to break up with this person because they're so wonderful, but they don't have that thing. Like, what do you do?
You know what? You can't make passion happen. You can't make chemistry happen. You can't have that lustful feeling for someone. If it's not there, if it's organically not there, it's just not there. Some people are just meant to be your friend. And I think a lot of times, especially we as women, we fall into this category of, well, you know, he's perfect on paper, or everybody in my circle thinks he's perfect, but you're just not feeling it. And it's okay to not feel it. And he needs to be your friend, because the truth is, the longer you're in a relationship, you need that friendship. Friendship is fantastic, but you also still need to walk into a room, see that person and go, wow. You still need that. You still need that. That's very important in keeping a relationship going for years.
You are amazing.
Well, I try.
And I just want to say you're pretty.
Well, thank you. You're beautiful too.
Well, yes, that goes without saying. I really just told you that so you could just repeat it
Okay,
back.
there you go.
Okay. So thank you again, Miss Ladawn Black, for coming.
Well, thank
I'm
you
really
for having
excited.
me. I've enjoyed myself. It's been fun.
Okay, I know where they're clapping now. Okay. Special thanks to our guest comedian, Yoshiko Watson. Ohio! And the lovely Miss Ladawn Black. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, share on all social media. I mean, really, I say this every time at the end of the show. You will think you get it already. But nice seeing you all. You all know where to find me. So anyway, Miss Ladawn Black, let me tell you something, right? Now that you ruined my whole life, because I thought I would have been able to get with that man with the ring, and I thought you
Right.
would just put the ring. You're messing me up, man.
I don't mean to mess you up. I just
Oh, my
want you
God.
to just think better and think differently.
So you know what? You're going to just write down the list of places I can meet.
I will. And I'm just going to give the list to you. I'm not going to give it to anybody else.
Girl,
Just you. So you don't have to compete.
Girl, I'm starting to listen to your program at 9:59 on
There you
Sundays.
go.
I ain't waiting for 10 o'clock. Okay, I
Thank
want to be there on
you.
time. Awesome. Thank you so much. Guess what? I just want to ask Miss Ladawn Black a little question, you know, to spice things up. So then they could listen to the rest of the show. So, your book, Let's Get It On. Some nice tips.
Absolutely.
Give me at least 1 or 2 tips.
Okay, well, when it comes to spicing up your sex life, the first thing that I tell you is to, number one, know what pleases you. So we have to get in touch with ourselves. And a lot of times, especially with women, I go, you get in touch with you. And they're like, what?
Exactly, like,
and they're
what
like,
do you
huh?
mean?
I don't do that. That's what I have a man for. But the truth is, you cannot expect someone else to please you, man or woman, if you don't know what your pleasure points are. So get in touch with yourself. Now, there are ways to do that. Some people like skin. Some people like toys. There are enhancers on the market. So if you take a long time to get there, you don't have the patience, use a little bit of spray gel and it'll set things off. But it's important to know what turns you on, where to touch, where not to touch, because some things that everybody's crazy about doing, like that grapefruit that everybody was talking about a few months ago.
Yeah.
Some people said, no, that was not their thing. So you can't just run with what's popular.
Okay.
You have to run with what actually turns you on.
I mean, after 21 years, you're apparently use a lot
we're
of different
good.
fruits and all kind of different things, right?
Yes.
Someone from the audience, yes, I have an audience. Ask,
There's the audience.
had asked a question about social media because you're of a certain age, then you have the young generation, the millennials. They're growing up and we have all this social media, the Facebook, the Instagram. So how do you even get relationships or start relationships, and how does that affect someone that's in their 30s opposed to someone in their 20s or even someone in their 40s?
Well, you know what? Let's take the ages. So let's start in the 20s. This is a generation that's grown up with the internet and with social media. And so what I find is a lot of times they're great at that. They know how to work the apps. They know how to swipe left, swipe right. They know how to jump into your DMs and jump out of your DMs. They know how to block. They know how to do all those things. But what they don't know how to do is, if I meet you in the grocery store and I find you attractive, they don't know how to walk across the aisle and say hello. And unfortunately, they have to figure out how to do that face-to-face thing. They have the social media thing on lockdown, but not the personable thing. And that's important in a relationship because eventually we're going to be face-to-face. So I think they need to brush up on that. So let's move up to the 30s. See, the 30s, they sort of bridge in that area where they're familiar with the dating apps, but kind of still want to meet face to face. And they're like, well, where do we, you're in my DMs. I don't even know what to do with this. So in that incident, I would say actually you do traditional dating and you do dating online because you want to have that mix. So you want to still go out to the club. You still want to be introduced by your friends. You still want to engage that UPS worker or that mailman. But you also don't want to miss the world of dating because that's what the 20-year-olds get, is that I don't necessarily have to date in my borough. I can date in different states. I can date in different countries. I can find my match, and my match might not be right next door. And that's what online dating does for you. So you have to sort of let that guard down. You're not going to wind up in somebody's trunk. You're going to be okay. Build that profile and just be safe. The same way you would have those precautions if you were to meet someone at a coffee shop, have those same precautions if you were to meet someone online.
Right.
So if we were to move up to the 40s, now this is a generation that's just totally lost. They're like, swipe left, swipe right. I don't want to do any of that. What happened to just meeting someone and being engaged? Well, once again, I'll say you need to mix it up. You're at an age now where a lot of times people have had a lot of life experience. They're a little bit disappointed in love. So you have to really sort of have a heart for what do you really want? What are you going to put up with? And don't be afraid of technology.
Oh, you're good.
I try.
I see why Miss Ladawn Black is the expert. Girl, I love you.